There was a man who loved the high life and all the fancy things that came with it. He wanted to be part of the world's elite and would do whatever it takes to fit in. He spent his early years practicing deceit and stealing from others, becoming an expert con artist and master of disguises. The man who called himself Prince Khalid bin Al Saud was not who he said he was. In reality, he was a clever con artist named Anthony Gignac. His story is shrouded in mystery and intrigue, and his ability to deceive others is truly impressive. Gignac was actually born in Colombia and moved to Michigan at the age of 6 when he and his brother were adopted by a middle-class couple. He quickly learned how to game the system, using stolen credit cards to fund his lavish lifestyle. He would ride around in limousines, stay in expensive hotels, and dine in the finest restaurants, all while posing as a member of the Saudi royal family. Gignac's obsession with royalty and wealth would eventually land him in hot water. Over the years, he was arrested multiple times for impersonating middle-growing Eastern royalty and defrauding people out of millions of dollars. But no matter how many times he was caught, he always found a way to slip through the cracks and start over again. By the time he made it to California in the early 90s, he convinced hotel staff to call him Your Highness and promised to pay off his debts with money from his wealthy family. But when the bills came due, he was nowhere to be found, leaving a trail of fraud and deception in his wake. He had successfully convinced people around the world that he was a Saudi prince, Khalid bin Al Saud, with a significant stake in Saudi Aramco, the oil giant controlled by the real Saudi royal family. With his false identity, Gignac managed to dupe investors out of millions of dollars, promising them returns of up to 5 times their initial investment. To build his network of investors, he offered to sell pieces of his fake Saudi Aramco stake at a discount ahead of the company's planned IPO, as well as opportunities to invest in other imaginary businesses, such as a platform for trading jet fuel, a casino in Malta, and an Irish pharmaceutical company. Federal authorities said he collected nearly $8 million from those investors and used the money to finance his lavish lifestyle, including Ferraris, Rolls-Royces, yachts, expensive jewelry, designer clothing, and travel on private jets. He even tricked his investors into giving him extravagant gifts like paintings, jewelry, and memorabilia. But it wasn't just his false identity and promises of wealth that lured investors in. He also dressed the part, wearing expensive jewelry like diamond rings, Cartier bracelets, and Rolex watches, as well as traditional Middle Eastern garments like a white robe and a red and white gutra headdress. He even bought fake diplomatic license plates for his luxury cars to add to the illusion. Even after being caught numerous times, he continued to con people with even greater intensity. He partnered with a British asset manager named Carl Martin Williamson, who helped him gain access to deep-pocketed investors. Anthony Gignac's reign of deception as Prince Khalid bin Al Saud came to a dramatic end in 2017, thanks in part to a chance encounter with a real estate developer named Jeffrey Soffer. Soffer, who is the husband of model Elle Macpherson, had been trying to sell a luxury apartment in Miami for several years. He was contacted by a potential buyer who claimed to be Prince Khalid bin Al Saud and who was interested in purchasing the property for a staggering $400 million. Gignac also showed them forged documents from the Bank of Dubai granting him a $600 million loan. Soffer was initially excited about the prospect of selling to a member of the Saudi royal family, and he went to great lengths to make the deal happen. But Soffer began to have doubts about the buyer's true identity, like he didn't sound like a native Arabic speaker, and was more interested in showing off his wealth than in actually buying the property, as he arrived at the meeting with a large entourage of bodyguards and assistants, and he flaunted his luxurious lifestyle with an array of expensive cars and flashy jewelry. Soffer's suspicions led him to do some digging, and he hired a private security group to investigate their would-be business partner. The investigator soon learned the truth. Soffer immediately contacted the authorities, who set up a sting operation to catch Gignac in the act. Then he was arrested and charged with multiple counts of fraud and identity theft, and he was eventually sentenced to 18 years in prison. After Mr. Gignac's arrest, his business manager Carl Williamson committed suicide. Mr. Williamson claimed before his death that he too had been duped by Mr. Gignac. The story of Anthony Gignac is a powerful reminder of the dangers of deception and the importance of staying vigilant and skeptical, even in the face of seemingly impossible stories.